change unit economics, making the customer experience better. How are you going to do that realistically in the West? You're going to buy the best software and implement it. Who are you going to buy from? So, I mean, like, and I love that we have all these skeptics, as annoying as they are. You know, just come out and tell the venture community how much we're going to fail. It's like, but for the somewhat idiotic skeptics of Palantir, we would probably be competing with 50 companies. So please amplify your skepticism. Palantir is very pro-Doge. I'm pro-Doge. I believe it's going to be great for America, and I'm supportive of it. And you know, read into that what you will.
Right.
But you know, America's going to become more lethal, more economically strong, and we're participating in that, and we're thrilled. And again, on the non-Doge front, does anyone doubt we're doing well in U.S. commercial? I mean, all these same skeptics are like, it's like completely ridiculous.
Right.
Somebody's got to score these skeptics. You're like, oh, Palantir's a service company. Palantir will never have a commercial product. Oh, Palantir will win, but it's only with one administration. Oh, Palantir's got the best product, but CARP's too crazy. Or Palantir would just shut up about the West being superior. Their sales would go up. You know, it's like, at what point is there a scorecard? Like, and again, I would encourage people in every institution we want to reform. What did the person say? How often were they right? How are they doing? And you've got to heavily index against that. But again, no matter what you think about what's happening in the U.S. government, I'm supportive of it. You know, look at what we're doing in commercial. Can you even open the newspaper and not see one of the greatest companies in the world in America partnering with Palantir? It's crazy. And I've never seen anything like this in the last 20 years being involved in. Honestly, the part I love is that we're winning. The part I love almost more is that we're getting to do our usual humiliate the critics and it makes my life a lot of fun.
By the way, I love when you humiliate the critics. I built my entire career being contrarian. You know, I wouldn't even have started my own research business if I thought Wall Street was doing it right. And by the way, they never change because they're too elitist to change. You've referenced, you know, the business, the U.S. supremacy, the West, and this is all sort of all part and parcel of your new book, which, by the way, #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. I just took some points out of the letter, your most recent letter, because it sort of matches what's in the book, and I just want to bring this to you. So one line that really is amazing. The unfortunate thing, either in business or politics, is that many of one's adversaries and antagonists will never respond to anything but strength. It feels like you're not only talking about business, but also what's happening with America right now, and maybe the Trump administration, and what some see as a heavy-handedness toward the rest of the world, but maybe that's the only thing they'll respond to.
Look, there are people who believe that strength works, and there are people who work in the Berkeley faculty. And, you know, it's like so obviously true. And it's the only thing that works. Everything else is some form of intellectual self-pleasuring. America is the greatest experiment, the greatest country that has existed, and we must support it and make sure that inside and outside, meaning the internal economy and the defense of it, are the world's best. And Palantir's role in that is something that makes me super proud. And the fact that...
Well, Alex, let me just ask you. I want to jump in here because the clock is ticking on me a little bit here, and you're pretty decisive about the different cultures out there, Western culture in particular, perhaps saving it. You've already said to Europe out loud here, hey, you hope they wake up, they get their sort of epiphany. There's another line from the letter. As Sam Huntington has written, the rise of the West was not made possible, quote, by the superiority of its ideas or values or religion, but rather by its superiority in applying organized violence. I love it. I think it's straightforward. You take heed for this sort of thing, but is it something that we have to come to grips with? Is this adult thinking?
Well, it's thinking of a culture that wants to thrive and survive, pays attention to the basic reason people are listening. America's ability to organize violence in a superior way, and then use it in a much more moral way than any other country would, given its ability to do this, is the single reason why the world improved over the last 70, 80 years. And then there's, again, a commercial version of this. It's like, if your company is not able to produce the best product in the most expedient way, You also, people are not going to listen to your marketing. You know, one of the biggest problems that institutions have is they're like, well, this is a marketing problem. No, it's an underlying fundamentals problem. Your marketing can be pretty damn bad if your fundamentals are great with this Palantir's rise. And so, you know, on the government side, it's about having superior organization and implementation and moral. And by the way, there's a moral good to how do you do it of violence, as Samuel Huntington said. And on the business side, is your business demonstrably superior? Is your product superior for the customer? Is it superior for your investor? Meaning, it's the best product in absolute terms, and that it's being produced in the absolute most efficient way inside your company. And people who want to have a big stick and talk quietly will be very focused on the internal dynamics. Those that want to have a loudspeaker and have everyone ignore them will focus on some kind of marketing that isn't working anymore.
Right.
And witness institutions that are failing.
Right.
Whether it's, you know, Europe's failure, the Democratic Party, you can look at all these things that they're failing for very, very simple reasons, which is no one believes the underlying dynamics of what they're saying is going to create more value than what you put into the actual instrument. And that's a very basic business principle, but it's also the principle by which nations survive and thrive or disappear.
Alex, thank you very much. I do hope to meet you really soon in person again. You jumped really high on my list of heroes, and Americans should buy that book, pay attention to it, because the cross currents between business and this race for survival and American exceptionalism is real. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, folks, Senate Democrats saying that they will reject the GOP funding bill, and so that means a potential government shutdown looms. Senator Roger Marshall is here with the latest on that, and also no taxes on tips becoming a reality.
Podcast I do with my pals John Hayes and Jason Bateman, with special guests from Howard Stern, Trevor Noah, David Beckham, Kelly Clarkson, to a few presidents. It's an unscripted, unrehearsed, unprepared podcast. We'll cover topics like doing limbo for self-esteem, skydiving hungovers, roller flares, and now keep right. Just search Smartless to join the fun. You'll find our investments grow for retirement.
Nope, they don't know that if you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, you may be able to sell all or part of it economy for cash, even the term policy. Don't laugh at surrender your policy or finding out that it's worth. Call Coventry Direct 800-236-3400 or visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold fund. That's 800-236-3400. Call now. Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax relief advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce
engine braking ahead.
zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with ABB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-339-6282. That's 800-339-6282. Circle for painters. We know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder.
In half a mile, turn left onto E Street.
A little bit sweeter. Or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. At home or at work, we'll make your happy place your own. Certified Painters. That's painting happy. We proudly use Sherwin-Williams paint.
Hi, this is professional golfer Mark O'Mara. When it came to building my personal putting green, I called Celebrity Greens, the leader in customized synthetic golf greens. Celebrity Greens designed an amazing backyard green for me and a synthetic lawn area for my dogs that looks and acts just like natural grass. You can't beat Celebrity Greens' attention to detail and exceptional customer service. Learn how to create a championship putting green in your own backyard. Call the pros at Celebrity Greens, 1-888-507-7960, or visit them online at celebritygreens.com.
Are you ready to set sail on a European river cruise? Then now is the time to book with Gate 1 Travel. For over 40 years, Gate 1 has provided escorted tours and river cruises around the world. Cruise along the Seine, the Rhine, the Danube, and so much more with Gate 1. Right now, save $750 off per person on your next 2026 European river cruise with code BOOK750 at gate1travel.com. Don't wait and book today. Offer expires March 31st, 2025. See more of the world for less when you book with Gate 1 Travel.
For the heavy-duty Mondays, the action-packed Sundays, and everything in between, only Blue Death products are triple filtered and guaranteed pure to keep your diesel truck running strong. And Blue Death Platinum helps prevent deposits before they create problems, so nothing stands between you and the day, wherever it takes you. Count on America's #1 diesel exhaust fluid. Blue Death and Blue Death Platinum. Guaranteed what drives you.
People always ask me, Donnie, why are you so confident? And I tell them because I shop for a used car with Carfax. Why Carfax? Because I was able to. What about facts? What kind of facts? Use Carfax. Like which car is going to report an accident? Which ride has the best value? Which car will have you feeling so confident that I'll just turn up the radio?
You're in the first ride onto US 95 truck.
Show tunes, knowing full well that I cannot sing. Carfax is the answer. Shop the all-new Carfax.com.
Conservatism is the movement. Conservative values is personal responsibility.
Strong families,
Limited government.
free markets,
Freedom of speech is a conservative principle. That's what we do with our freedom. That matters.
conservative principle.
We cannot get a budget passed without at least probably 8 Democrats coming across the aisle. This vote will take 60 senators to pass it, so it's all upon them. As a Republican, we want to get this fiscal year behind us so we can get back to work on the president's priorities.
And speaking of this fiscal year, from October to February, numbers are out yesterday, mind-boggling. It's out of control. It's so mind-boggling that at the point that the eyes glaze over and people have become almost numb to this, but we can't be numb to the fact that wherever that proverbial cliff is, we're getting to it a lot faster.
Yeah, absolutely. So Medicaid spending by the federal government has increased 50